Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gerdes, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
Just about every conversation that I have with investors and buyers and sellers, and anyone who's talking about real estate, the number one thing I think, Justin, is on people's minds right now are interest rates. People are very concerned about interest rates. And if you don't understand how money works, if you don't understand all the different ways you get to make money in real estate, you are going to allow that interest rate number, you're going to allow it to just keep you on the sidelines, keep you from building personal wealth. And that's one of the things that I love to explain to our listeners and our followers is the interest rate number is just that. It's simply a number.
That's right. And I said it in the last episode, date the rate, marry the home. It's something that will hold a lot of people back, but it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money right now too, because we know that the rates are going to drop. The 2-year and the 10-year Treasury bond, they're inverted. When that happens, we know rates are going to be dropping. Inflation's coming down. Interest rates, mortgage interest rates follow inflation. We were at 9% in July. We're at 6% right now. And we have consumer price index coming out here shortly. And we should be sub 6% on inflation. And we just know it's going to continue to come down. And we think that May is going to be a big day, May 10th. There is so many deals to be had out there right now. If you understand that rates are going to go down, and with the supply that we have, there's a lot of money to be made.
You know, Ryan, we discussed this on an earlier episode of this whole concept of opportunity, and money never disappears. It just moves. And really, I want to talk about opportunity. How crazy am I? And a lot of people who are going to listen to this are going to think I'm crazy. But how crazy of a statement is it to say, you know what, right now, the high interest rates are actually breeding a lot more opportunities. So it becomes a lot better time if you are a savvy investor or a savvy thinker.
I feel like the people that are doing that, hedge funds aside, the people that have been doing this for decades, or the hedge funds that have been doing this for decades, they understand. But if you were on the fence 2 years ago and you're buying now, it's because you realized that you were just an excuse maker. That's really all that it was. And if you're not buying right now, or if you're not investing right now, it's because you're still an excuse maker, right? What's that?
I think there's a lot of people out there that are going to get really lucky here because they didn't have an opportunity to buy. Because they're an FHA or a VA buyer or down payment assistance buyer. I think those people are going to get so lucky right now if they stayed in the game and they're finding a home, because they're getting into the home. They're forced right now to get in the home because they know that they weren't able to. They didn't have bags of money to come in to make an offer on a property.
Totally get that. But I think so that back 2 years ago, their excuse was,
COVID.
Prices are too high. Right, so COVID. That was just
scare. A small little thing in the past.
It was a big scare. I get that, but as far as the real estate market goes, they were scared because they said prices are too high, the market's overinflated. Then there was the competition element. Coming up with an extra $20,000 above, $50,000 above appraisal value. I get that. That's more of the logistics side. But there's plenty of people that could have bought should they. If
they thought the market was going to fall.
Right. They thought the market was going to fall. And what have we experienced? Maybe a 15% decline.
They're going to go down to $99,000 a home.
Yeah. No.
I wish. Yeah, I'd be buying them all.
Yeah, for sure. If you're using the excuse that the rate is too high right now, you're just not cut out for it. And that's okay. It's just not. I just don't have room in my camp for that.
Okay. And point well taken. But, Justin, if the rate is too high for you right now and interest rates do drop to, let's say, some of our listeners' comfort level, what happens to the housing market? Where are those opportunities going to go? Because in my opinion, If you're waiting for the interest rate to drop, you're like everybody else waiting for the interest rate to drop. We have, the last time I checked the MLS, we had approximately 8,300 single-family homes available in Maricopa County. And if interest rates drop and all these people now are ready to jump to the game, what's going to happen to today's home price?
Well, let's talk about today's market. I mean, you can get below list price, pretty common right now. You can get seller concessions, still common. 50% probably can get closing costs paid for. Repairs taken care of. But this is what's going to happen. Once rates start and the frenzy starts, you're going to come in with bags of money again. You're going to be competing with 40,000 people for 8,000 homes or less. Well, I mean, at one point, we had 2,000 homes on the market.
Yeah,
is that accurate? 2,500, something like that.
2,600.
And we had thousands of buyers after those. We had a line of people outside of specific homes where you were competing against 30 different offers. That's what you're going to get into because we have a supply issue. And right now, we don't have. You're not going up against a ton of people, and they're scared of the rates.
I was showing a home to a family the other day, and on the wall there is a giant picture of the Heineken logo. And they're like, well, could we get that? I'm like, well, in this market, man, why not? Let's ask for
Did
everything.
You get it?
Well, they chose another house.
Okay.
But the point of the matter is, to your point, is right now sellers are wheeling and dealing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ryan, we have a client that I just opened up discussions with. They're in a very, very unique situation. They have got a home that they owe $400,000 on. The home is worth about $925,000. Their challenge is they need to take $200,000 out. And when I first started talking with them, they're like, well, we don't want to do a HELOC. We don't want to do a cash out refinance because our current interest rate is 3.25%. Well, then where are we going to get the money?
Yeah.
Because we don't have a lot of options. So I said, before you make a decision that the rate is too high, that you cannot follow any of these options, what you've got to do, because they're going to turn this home into an Airbnb.
Okay.
You have to know before you determine that the interest rate is too high, which it might be at the end of the day, you have to determine how is this property projected to perform as a Airbnb. So I did the numbers. I worked it out with Justin. I said, okay, so if we add we do a $200,000 cash out refinance, and at today's interest rate, their payment is this. If we took out a $200,000 HELOC, your payment was this. And so at the end of the day, option one was the better route to go. And then when we took a look at all of a sudden what the potential income was for this property, they're like, oh, well, yeah, let's just do the cash out refinance. So it's just a number. You have to look. It's an important number. You have to look at all the numbers.
Well, talk about cutting off your nose and spite your face, right? So what they're doing is they're focusing on a rate rather than focusing on the cash flow, focusing on their passive income, right? What the things that really matter, what drive wealth, because that cash flow, that extra passive income is going to allow them to make future investments. And then if they need to reposition down the road after rates have gone down, then that's just gravy, right?
Yeah.
That's just a cherry on top. So I get it. It's something that you need to put into your formula. But if you're going to hold on to something like a short-term rental Airbnb, then you need to understand that if you just hold on to it for 6 months, or if you're planned on a short-term rental on that, you have about an 18-month ramp-up period. Okay, so don't even consider it if you're just going to do it for a couple of months, unless you're just trying to do a build-up just to sell it off. And even then, that's risky business right there.
Go ahead. Yeah. Finish.
So my thought process is going back to your point. Instead of just focusing on the rate all the time, roll it in there. That's why you need to see a little bit more aggressive cap rates right now. You need to see a little bit more of that buffer because you are going to have a little bit higher debt service. But one day, that's all going to change.
Yeah, and even that, Justin, the debt service again, it's just one. I shouldn't say rates are just a number. What I should be saying is interest rates are just one of the numbers. and it's one of the numbers in an entire equation. So if I don't want to go out and buy a home today because interest rates are X and I want them to be at Y, you got to figure out, well, first of all, how much of a difference in your monthly payment is that? Is that $300 a month? Is that $400 a month? Okay, you multiply that by, let's just even say 12 months because you're going to refinance in 12 months. Well, okay, home prices are expected to appreciate another 4 to 5%. So
Amen.
you're going to leave that money on the table. You're not going to get the tax benefits. And, as home prices do go up, as they appreciate, you're going to realize that appreciation. And you can hear that I'm just mumbling because I'm trying to find that third point that's escaping me in my head right now.
I think something that you asked me about opportunity, and we talked about the reverse side of it, where we're able to see appraisals right now that are about 50, depending, 10, 15% above what the purchase price is. In 6 months, 12 months, that's going to change. So today's transaction is tomorrow's comps, right? So we're still benefiting from yesterday's high sales price because we have a lot of margins that we can leverage with and get low loan to value because we're using those comps from when they were a lot higher. But in 6 months, we're going to start running into those issues and the opportunities that are here right now. They're going to start to fade away.
That's right.
Yeah, and that was what I was gonna. That was the third thing that I was trying to find.
I think that's what you're trying to find. Yeah.
But when we get into a buyer frenzy, what you're also leaving on the table is seller concessions, and that 4% appreciation might be a little bit low because when we get when we get into a buyer frenzy, all bets are off. And that's why I keep saying the interest rate is just one of the numbers. You got to take a look at all of them.
Yeah, and I definitely think that our appreciation is going to outperform 4% or even the 24% over the next few years. I think it's going to outperform it because of the supply, because of the amount of jobs that we have coming to Maricopa County. We're projected at 133,000 jobs per year over the next 6 years coming to Maricopa County with the chip plant,
all the tech,
Intel. We have so many industries coming here, and I think one thing that COVID helped us out with here in Maricopa County was these industries realized that people could work from home, so people started working from home, and a lot of people started moving to Arizona. But they realized that the taxes out here, the property taxes, are much cheaper than across the country. There was a lot of job or benefits to corporations to hold land out here and operate out here, and I feel like we're going to continue to see those benefits, and we're not building enough homes. We're not building enough homes.
No.
For that.
All right. Well, there are a lot of ways to skin the cat, and the cat is building wealth in real estate. But it does start truly by building that wealth building strategy, and that's where our team of real estate wealth managers come into play. If you'd like to learn more about what we do, all you got to do is go to azrecongroup.com. Again, that's azrecongroup.com.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.